The alarms rang at exactly 2:13 a.m., but when the guards rushed through the empty marble halls of the town's oldest museum, there was no intruder, no broken window, no forced lock, just silence and a faint smell of dust and copper in the air. For weeks, the same thing kept happening. Alarms blaring, security feeds flickering, sensors tripping in rooms where no one had stepped foot in decades. The old museum's security system was supposed to keep the priceless artifacts safe. Instead, it seemed to be summoning something that was never meant to be disturbed. This story isn't about a burglary, it's about a glitch. And what happens when a system designed to guard the past becomes the very thing that unleashes it. Faint echo. The Merrick County History Museum had always been quiet, the kind of place school kids visited once a year and tourists stopped by out of obligation, not fascination. Its exhibits were ordinary: Civil War uniforms, farming equipment, dusty mannequins frozen in pioneer life, but the building itself, that was the real relic, built in 1897, once a courthouse, later converted into a museum. The security system, patched together in the 1980s, a Frankenstein's monster of failing circuits, corroded wires, buzzing cameras. Nobody thought much of it until last fall. That's when the glitch began. It was Elliot, the night guard, who first noticed it, a veteran in his late 50s. At 2:13 a.m., the alarms in Exhibit Room C went off, Civil War display. When he got there, the room was empty, but the bayonet was on the floor, cold steel glinting as if someone had pulled it down. He chalked it up to loose mounting. But the next night, it happened again. This time, this pioneer mannequin pressed against the glass, alarms screaming, motion sensors showing movement. Even when Elliot stood still, static buzz, alarm echo. By the end of the week, every night shift came with false alarms, but they didn't feel false. Cameras glitching, tall figures moving, static cutting them off, artifacts shifting, a rocking chair 3 feet closer to the door, a portrait tilted. Once Elliot swore the wax sheriff mannequin moved its hand. The staff didn't believe him until Linda, the cleaning lady, saw it too. She heard footsteps circling her, and the moccasins in the case appeared on the floor the next morning, as if someone had warned them. Beat of silence. Elliot kept a journal. Alarms, always between 2 and 3 a.m., always in the courthouse wings, always followed by objects moved. Then came the tapes. One showed the settler's cabin door, nailed shut, creaking open. A shadow stepped out, darker than darkness. It stood before the camera. Then, static. 6 minutes later, the rocking chair moved back and forth, like someone had just risen from it. Elliot called the board one night, whispering, "It's not a glitch. They're walking," and the call cut out. Police found only his flashlight in the Civil War room, still on. That was the beginning. Guards quit, techs quit. "It ain't the wires, son," one electrician said. "It's the walls." And that's where I come in. Last winter, I took the contract 30 nights in the museum, monitoring the same office. Elliot once used the same flickering monitors. But I already knew. The cameras didn't always tell the truth. Low hum returns. Night 1, 2:13 a.m. The alarms blared. Civil War display again. The bayonet on the floor. As I turned, I heard it. "Don't turn your back," whispered by no one. The nights escalated. Mannequins' eyes glinting, footsteps marching. By night 9, the cameras betrayed me. On one screen I saw myself, but when I raised my hand, the reflection didn't. It just smiled, then static, low static hiss. In Elliot's journal, I read the truth. Don't stay past the 30th night. The glitch isn't a glitch. It's the courthouse. The trials never ended. The condemned never left. The system is their key. I dug deeper. The courthouse once held midnight trials, secret executions, forgotten sentences. The glitch wasn't malfunction. It was residue. The past replaying itself, bleeding into the present. Final week, every night 2:13 a.m. Alarms, doors opening, portraits tilting, footsteps following. December 13th, every alarm triggered at once. Red strobes, radio static. Every monitor showed the same courtroom, filled with shadows. In the front row, Elliot mouthing, "Get out." I should have left, But I stayed. December 30th, the final night, snow outside, the museum freezing. At 2:13 a.m., the cameras went black and a courtroom appeared, not on the monitors, but around me. Walls shifting to wood, exhibits to benches, mannequins to people, faces twisted with rage, eyes hollow. The judge at the bench, hidden in shadow, gavel raised, thunder cracked, the crowd roared. Cold hands grabbed me, dozens dragging me toward the gallows. The judge's voice boomed, sentence carried forward. No glitch, no mistake, the guilty must remain. I begged, I pleaded, but the noose dropped over my neck. And then, nothing. A fast, faint breath. I woke in the office. Monitors dead, alarm silent, morning light creeping in. They fired me next day. Logs showed nothing but static. But I know, I still feel the rope burns on my neck. And sometimes, in the dark, I hear the gavel. Long silence. So if you ever hear alarms ringing in the dead of night, cameras flickering when no one's around, don't assume it's a glitch, because sometimes the past doesn't stay locked away.
Sometimes it's the one watching you.